I'm Rena. I was married to him for 47 years. We started off in London. We met in London, a place called Stratford, which everybody now knows from the Olympics. But nobody knew at the time. And eventually, after 3 children and a couple of grandchildren, we moved to Somerset. And Ian was a builder, so we renovated a large farmhouse. And life was good. It seemed fine. And then, literally out of the blue, in March 2023, March 20th to be exact, Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumour. He would do anything for our 3 and the 6 grandchildren. So you could have phoned in at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, Dad, I've locked myself out or something. And he'd go, right, that's it, I'm in the car and I'm off and I'm doing it. That's what was most important to him. Family was most important. I phoned up Bristol and I couldn't get anybody in Bristol. They were on holiday. Our chemo oncology nurse was off sick, long term, and I felt very alone. I didn't know who to turn to. I was in outside of Taunton. Bristol was a long way away, and Ian was ill. Anyway, when we finally got back to our consultant in Bristol, who was lovely, Lorna, I said to her, "Can you please find me somewhere near Taunton where I could phone up and get some advice when I really need it and nobody's around?" Anyway, she said to me she could refer us to St Margaret's Hospice, and that was end of August, I think, 2024. She referred us. Anna came out, who was one of the community nurses. She was a breath of fresh air, absolutely delightful. Told us all about the hospice, got us to talk about things like, we sort of knew Ian was going to die. We knew that this tumour was life-limiting. But I think we'd sort of buried our heads in the sand a little bit. We hadn't really had that discussion. She got in and I had to start to talk about that. It was really useful. And then Ian started to have a few more seizures. St Margaret's managed to change the seizure meds for us. They were really good late one night when Ian had 3 seizures consecutive. And I phoned them. Paramedics came out and I phoned. They talked me through it. They helped me out. And then suddenly Ian just did deteriorate quite quickly. He took a fall in the November and we ended up with 11 days in St Margaret's Hospice. Ian died on the 28th of November. But I couldn't have done it without the use of the hospice. I had Ian at home for 2 weeks in a hospital bed, but I wasn't his wife anymore. I was sort of looking after him. He was very demanding. His personality had changed. His mobility, you could rarely get him to the toilets, really. And I felt like we were sort of almost arguing with each other. And then Anna offered the hospice bed, and we took it. And it was brilliant, really, because I could just be his wife. What I'd mostly say is everybody knew Ian by name. And if they went into his room, and at the very beginning, Ian wasn't an easy patient. He'd had a real personality change. He was very demanding. But he was obviously very, very ill by then. The tumour had really taken over. But everybody was so kind to him. You'd go in and he'd be so well looked after. He said to Anna that he wanted to be clean shaven always, all the way through. And they did, and we brought in a shaver, but they just would, you'd come in of a morning and Ian just looked lovely. It was they always came in and it was always talking to him, Ian. And even when he died, I'm going to say this because it's so important. The nurse on duty, Ian had died, and she came in, and she said, stay as long as you like, and whatever. But she also continued to talk to Ian. Like he'd sort of gone over a little bit in the bed, and she wanted to move him up, and made sure he looked fine. And I couldn't believe that she continued to use his name. She said, "It's okay, Ian. I'm just going to move you up now. I'm just going to and tidy this bit a little bit, And I just thought, no, it's unbelievable. I can't describe the care that you would get at St Margaret's.